fine, you could just do the ceiling. But you're going to do the ceiling, and then in 5 years, when you have to put a new exhaust hood in, that's in a different location, then you're ripping down the ceiling that's only 2 years old to do it, which looks like you didn't know what the heck you were doing to begin with. So it actually makes sense to kind of do it holistically, lay it out, meet with your food service people, say, look, we think the kitchen can function better. Actually, the kitchen design has changed immensely since that's laid out. I mean, now it's serving lines, but now it's like, you know, a la carte. You go into some of these new ones and they've got a central area, and they go in and they grab their milk and they grab an apple and they grab a salad, or they, you know, it's completely different than it was missing. We actually redesigned it to be appropriate to
And will this help us to have better access for serving our kids, you know, into, I mean, our lunches, we're in shaky grounds now. So if we were to have better kitchen equipment and, you know, set up better, you know, would
Is
they
it
be
gonna make better sales?
I don't know.
It's
It's
a
better
stretch.
food with crap in it, now I got it.
I disagree with the crap that you just said, because honestly, the lunches have been pretty good. Laura's buying them every single day. She'll buy. It's not true. They're definitely,
Georgette sends out the menu
better.
for the next week every Friday, and I highlight what I'm gonna eat. There's usually 2 choices for the made-to-menu order, and I email it back to her, and when I go in, they have it all ready for me.
We're still not getting anything in particular, so that's not good.
No, neither is anybody else if you've been looking at the paper.
So that's kind of how it shakes out.
There could be some pieces of parts, like you mentioned, with the sense of some of those tables that could still be accommodated, and that can be studied.
Or more equipment that they need to make it better, you know, just putting on for keep, but COVID.
But it is awkward in there. It's very
Yeah,
tight.
very awkward.
It is, the door goes
Very,
backwards,
yes,
so that, you know, the
yes,
girls are
it's
front.
tight. There's like no room in those areas at all. It's so bad.
Like regarding any if we say we did one of the kitchens and we pulled out equipment that was still usable and viable, would we have an option to maybe move that into the kitchen that we're not redoing?
Yeah,
if it's in
absolutely.
better shape?
Yeah,
Or
people,
hang on to it in case something fails in the other kitchen?
That's kind of what
Have
you've
it?
done to the middle school. You know, you've cannibalized the middle school already to take its best equipment out, moved over to these other 2 buildings. So you'd basically essentially be doing the same thing.
So if we had money, say this stayed the way it was and the bids came in low, or we didn't need that gas and fee, and one of the kitchens was an alternate bid, we might be able to do that, pull any equipment out that's still usable and hang on to it in case we did have a problem, say in the elementary kitchen.
Because it wasn't in the original scope, right?
That would be an option.
What is the original scope? Because is not the whole $30,000 the original scope, or is this now the original scope? Or is this old one the original scope?
I mean, right now, the handout I gave you tonight, that's where we are today. Like I said, we can keep revising it. It's a fluid program.
So if we take all of this all this stuff for that new field out, and we say, we want high school cafeteria area space.
Yeah, then I just take it back to the office and revise it.
All right, but say the numbers come in a lot lower, let's, you know, cross our fingers, and they come in $1 million lower. If everything on this, where's the rest of the stuff that we're gonna add to for the scope? You know, does it come back from that $30 million project? We
Yeah.
can just pick what we want
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've written the
on $30 million whole.
right, we've written the resolution vague enough that you could do work at, you know, these 2 buildings, you could add whatever you wanted to, exterior, interior, site, you know, it's written vague enough that you can do what you need to. And you could, you know, you could refer back to that BCS, and that's how I kind of explained it originally. It's a building condition summary that we put together, prioritizes everything, and it's basically your menu. You know, you can basically go through and look at it and say, yeah, you know, let's add this one, let's add that, let's add this one. You know, we can kind of have estimated values in there, which makes it easier for you to do.
And we could have those ready to be alternate bids.
To know what
Things
your
come in low
priorities,
enough,
1,
you're
2,
adding it
3
up.
are.
and
Right,
find
we'll put some
that-
alternate bids in, but if we find out that we've got $700,000 left,
We're not.
right, I mean, if we do, then you could always put together a
No,
mini
it's
project,
separate.
which becomes its own separate project. We submit that down to the state, and it's, you know, by the time this project's done, we'll know what we have left. And we'll spend this project right down to the last couple dollars. I mean, there's no question.
But come voter time, I mean, I'd like to have this list, I mean, maybe I'm, got rose-colored glasses on, but I'd like to have this list, you know, as fine-tuned as possible. And then say, okay, option one, if they come in lower, you know, the high school kitchen is the next on the list. And the next one on the list below that is the elementary school kitchen, or something to that effect, to be, you know, totally upfront with the voters that, you know, these are our plans. If they do come in low, we should identify, you know, what else from this priority one list, what do we go to next? I would think we would be able to come down to 1, 2, or 3 more items on that.
Well, I would think you would want a handful of items on there,
Yeah.
because if you have 2 of them that are each $500,000 and you have $600,000, you know, you would want you'd wanna fill those dollars as
Right.
much as possible. So maybe you have a $500,000 one, and then maybe your third priority is $100,000.
Right.
So you'd skip priority number 2, because now 3 fits in.
Well, but the question would be, you know, for the list is, all right, originally it was all the windows, now it's part of the windows. So as a group, we should be, and not wanting, I don't want the second half of these windows on this project, because we definitely want them to be later. So they're on this list, but I think we should be starting as a group saying, okay, here's our next project. We are going to use assembly windows, and then the elementary school windows, so those are on the next list. So that we know what's going to go on that list, and we're not putting it on this list. Because we don't have future, no long-term. We should have like a, yeah, so I mean, the condition survey we have is, you know, can it be broken down to say, all right, here's, this is what's gotta be, and then here's your next project, and like she says, this is gonna be small, let's throw out $3 million, this one's gonna be $5 million, and say, we think the windows will make it to here, because I can't, you know, I would have no idea, but for you to say, okay, these windows can go here, these can go here, and we are not gonna hold your, you know, we start breaking too much, but we would ballpark and say, you know, because you're saying put all these windows now, like she said,
I'm
can we do
saying,
the
yeah,
flashing now? Okay.
You do